you had George Kushner and Netanyahu. They were talking about annexing the Golan Heights, which is they're just basically laying claim to it as Israeli when it's Syrian. Yeah, and expanding there, which is, there's Syrians still living there. And, you saw what's happening also in Gaza and the rest of Palestine. So basically, in short, what is ISIS? It is a religious cult that sold this idea that the land of Syria belongs to all Muslims that believe in Wahhabism. That is the idea. So it doesn't belong to Syrians. Syria doesn't belong to Syrians. It belongs to the good Muslims that follow this Wahhabist doctrine. And if these Wahhabis were able to take that territory back and control Damascus, then the Messiah will come. And the Messiah for Islam is Jesus. So that was the plan. And I would like you guys to consider, and of course, all of these international people came from all over the world, and they were killing everyone that doesn't agree with their religion or their sect, their cult. Consider that same scenario when it comes to Israel. Consider that this is a group of Zionists, religious cult, that told the Jews of the world that the land of Syria, or the Levant, which includes Palestine, doesn't belong to the Syrians. It belongs to all Jews. And if they are able to take that land back, then the Messiah will come. And they come from all over the world, and they kill everyone that doesn't agree with their religion. So basically, Syria is face the two sides of the same coin here. Israel is the Jewish version of, well, it's not really Jewish in the sense that ISIS isn't really Islamic, but it's a version of that. It's an interpretation, but it's an imperialistic interpretation. And so also, if you look back to how Israel began, and I'm sorry, I'm going back in time rather than...
No, go ahead, by all means.
Current time.
People want to hear you. Go ahead.
It began through the use of terror. Some of the first terrorist groups were from Israel, like the Haganah, Irgun. They were doing bombings, truck bombs in places, the same way that ISIS did, trying to create their state. They had militias running around. I mean, they were referred to everywhere in the press as terrorists. During that time, during World War II, if you replace, what we're seeing now with Islamic terrorism, that was Zionist terrorism back then. That was the common theme in the British media, even in the, in the
everywhere you
Middle
look.
Eastern media, everywhere, all over the world. And the way that Israel was sold at that time was to the right wing. It was sold as something that can help the empire, and to the left wing, it was sold as a socialist haven, a democratic socialist paradise that's going to be inclusive of Jews and Christians and Muslims, and everybody's going to live peacefully within its borders. That's how it was sold to, and they're going to live in communes, like communism and anarchy. And that's why people like Noam Chomsky was one of the first Zionists in the kibbutz. They supported the concept. Bernie Sanders as well.
Yes.
The Soviet Union was one of the first nations to acknowledge its existence. And I just want you guys to consider that, consider that Kurdistan is the same thing. It's being sold to the right as a nationalist cause, and it's being sold to the left as a socialist anarchist haven where everybody will be treated equally, blah, 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 blah. But as a matter of fact, it's only for one type of people.
I really like how you put that hold that thing together. I can't. I totally agree with you. I have the same um, Weltanschauung, the same. I agree, but I couldn't put it with those words.
Oh,
I couldn't find the
I
eloquence
thought
to
about
put
it
it
a
with
lot.
those words. I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell.
I
You
want
know,
to make something about it, but it's dangerous topic. That's the issue.